Welcome into a brand new edition of Bleav in Panthers. Hope you guys missed this. We took a week off last week, but we are back full and ready to go. Desmond Johnson from Tobacco Road Sports Radio here in the house with the Panthers' all-time leading rusher, Jonathan Stewart. Lofa Tatupu joining us as well, as his Seattle Seahawks have made Super Bowl 60 after defeating the Los Angeles Rams for the third time this season and doing it in a instant classic, in my opinion. We'll get to both of the conference championship games. Of course, Bleav in Panthers brought to you by the fine folks over at FanDuel. Make sure they're going to be busy over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you go over to FanDuel Sportsbook and get you ready for that. Somewhere in the middle of this episode, we'll see what they got going on prop bet wise. 2 weeks out from Super Bowl 60. We'll talk a little bit about the Broncos and the Pats as well. And we'll just get into it and get it situated and get you set up on the Seahawks side this week. Next week, we're going to have the Patriots side. And we'll get you ready for Super Bowl 60. And then after that, the week after the Super Bowl, me and Stu are compiling our 5 biggest Panther plays, moments, moves of the 2025 season. And we'll have that for you guys right after the Super Bowl. So we got a loaded slate for you over the next couple of weeks. And just starting it off, Panther news and notes. And Stu, you can react to this. Dan Morgan, the general manager of the Panthers, was on WFNZ last week, basically giving a State of the Union on the franchise and had some good nuggets there. He did mention that Bryce Young, they are going to give him his 5th-year option. Bryce entering year 4 next year, so that won't be hanging in the air. And something else I thought it was a little kind of eye-raising. He mentioned that they're going to look for someone to back up Bryce in the quarterback room that's a little bit younger that might be able to push him more. Andy Dalton turns 36, if I'm not mistaken, or he already is 36. He'll turn 37 next year. So it sounds like the writing's on the wall for Andy Dalton. Thoughts on that real quick, Stu, in terms of looking for a younger guy to maybe push Bryce Young? We just saw in these playoffs what happens if you have to come in with a backup quarterback at the wrong time. Thoughts on Dan Morgan's comments?
I think he's focused. I think he understands exactly what he has right now on this roster. This is his second offseason as the GM. So I expect him to start cooking. You know what I'm saying? You got to see some success. You got to see some things that, Lofa, you're as a GM that has played the game. As guys, we played the game and we watched the game. We watch how guys operate on the sideline. We watch them, how they operate in the locker room with their teammates. And just, the where football is now in today's society is different than what it was back then. But there's certain things that still remain. Does it smell like football? Does it look like football? Does it sound like football? Does it smell like it? You know what I'm saying? Like, Dan Morgan has that. And so when it comes to finding, competition in every single room, that's a must, right? And I think what we're starting to realize, see now, is Bryce Young taking these steps ahead, right? He's basically, the gap between him and a backup quarterback has spread, and so there's comfort there for him, and especially picking up that option. And what a younger guy is going to do is going to provide safety, for the future. This game is going to come to a close for every single person that plays the game and puts a helmet on. And Andy Dalton, obviously being an older guy, being in his later years in his career, they're preparing for that. So you have to absolutely have the answers in that quarterback room, because without the quarterback steering the ship, you ain't going nowhere. So I love it. I've been listening to all the interviews, and to have a GM just like have the success that he's had this year, to have the confidence to be able to say, I know what we need. I know where we are, and I'm ready to go cook.
It's refreshing, isn't it? Like to see like an actual path and actually look at it and be like, oh, I see where they're going. Like this actually probably will work based off of what we've seen. So me personally, after watching the turmoil of the past 10 plus years, probably in the front office in Carolina, where it feels like it's finally settling. And the thing I really like, it feels like David Tepper has truly just turned over the keys of the franchise to Dan Morgan and Dave Canales. Like it just feels like he just trusts them. Of course, they're going to run things by him, and they're going to, this is the guy we're thinking about getting, and yada, yada. But it feels like he truly trusts Dan more than I would have expected him to after the previous couple of GMs where they kind of came in and messed things up a little bit. He
Yeah.
was true to his word. He was like, yo, this is it. I'm out of it. And they're going to handle this and go from there. So
Lofa, what are your thoughts on, ownership and, team leadership when it comes to the front office? Like what's the perfect mixture? I mean, the Seahawks have been thriving for so long when it comes to, the repetition of getting the right guys in that building, the guys that fit the culture, that fit the brand, that fit the environment, the community of Seattle. What is it about that relationship, owner to GM, owner to president, owner to head coach to players? What is that like up there?
Yeah, I think, in large part, it's, owners are $1 billion, they're billionaires, man.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing to do is step back and humble yourself and say, hey, I hired the right person for the job. Go get it done. We don't have to talk. I'm not going to tell you who to draft. I'm not going to butt in. Go win me a championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, the two teams playing, run by the great Paul Allen for many years, and now Jody's his sister has the team, and then Robert Kraft. Like, those are two ownership groups that have just said, hey, we did our due diligence. We found the guy for the job that we wanted. And, the results speak for themselves. So I think, if you're an owner and you played, right, then you have an understanding of what it takes to win on that field, much in terms of like what we're saying with the GM and Dan Morgan. Dan in college, in the NFL, he was the leader of the team, right? So he knows what they're missing, like you said, Jay Stu. He knows what gets them better. So in terms of the relationship between the owner and the coach and GM, it's definitely everything's relationships. We know that, but that just less is more in terms of like going in and like doing what you want.
And it's also noted. We should also note that Dan Morgan spent some time in Seattle, so he got a chance to see how things were operating there.
That's
so
true.
if you are an owner, because it is a learning curve too for ownership. Just because you have billions of dollars, you still have to learn, right? And so I think David Tepper, he did the best that he could as far as learning how to be an owner, and like that takes time. And I think, for, the instant gratification people out there, the Amazon buyers, the shoppers, they want things instant. They want it now. And what we found and realized is, this is a human being that still has to understand and figure out how to trust the people that he's hiring, finding the right counsel. It doesn't happen on the first try. Nothing ever happens on the first try besides the majority of the time failure. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to have a guy like, Dan Morgan leading the charge, leading the front in the off seasons, getting the right guys in there, he should have he should, and he's obviously shown that he's had the confidence in this guy from day one. And so does the rest of the Panther community. So I thought that was interesting, man, because you want the success, right? But you have to go find the tree. And so I think the trees of where you get these guys is where you find success. Dan Morgan, linebacker of all linebackers, right?
Yeah.
Miami guy. And he's a Miami guy though too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about from back in the day, Miami.
Yeah.
He knows how to win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope he's got his eye on that kid, Malachi Tony, isn't that his name? The running back?
Yeah.
Wide receiver. You talk
receiver,
about Panthers need somebody to take the top off the defense.
Hello.
Running back, wide receiver. He can do
Take
everything.
the top off.
Slide right in. He can slide right in and go. So Dan Morgan, getting ready to do some business, and we'll dive deeper into the draft and stuff like that. Really, for the first time since we've been doing the show, Stu, I'm actually really looking forward to whatever we come across. We'll bring on some draft gurus and stuff. What's going to be a good fit for the Panthers? I'm starting that Malachi Tony first round thing right now because, I guess we'll be picking 18, 19, something like that, probably, since we won the division. So he may still be around there. But I do feel like Dan has been chomping at the bit to finally get a middle linebacker that he picks, like a quarterback of the defense, because that's the one thing we kind of don't have yet. Yeah, and if he could find somebody in the vein
Lofa,
of,
you know a little
I-
bit
I
about
like-
being a green dot.
Man, I love the pick of Trevor Wallace, man. Like
I do too. I just don't know if he's. Would you put Trevor Wallace at a Dan Morgan, John Beeson, Luke Kuechly level?
I'm not putting anybody at that level until they show me that they can do it, right? Because man, those are three of the best that I've ever seen. But
Actually, that's a good question for you. Who's the best
I-
middle linebacker you saw in college football this year that might be eligible for the draft?
middle linebacker this year?
Yeah,
I haven't brushed up on it yet.
I know I
Their
kind of put you on the
name?
spot.
Because I mean, in years past, even like a couple of years ago, when Trev was picked, Edge Coop, that guy did everything. He's at Green Bay now.
Mhm.
Just a killer, man.
Yeah.
And same with Trev, but I don't believe Trev was asked to wear or make the calls. Maybe I'm mistaken. When he was at in college, where did he go? He go to Kentucky or
Kentucky,
Yeah, he came out of Kentucky. We got him in the second round, right, Stu?
Third.
Yeah.
Third round.
third. You're exactly right though. There's a whole different ball game when you have to be back there playing, calling everything, making sure everybody's lined up, and basically putting guys in position to be successful while also having to make the play.
and then go do your job. Now go
Yeah.
do it.
Which makes watching Luke Kuechly film just insane because you watch him, you realize he's doing all that, and then he's going to be at the spot the running back is trying to get to before the running back gets there, or he's going to be in the quarterback shadow like before the quarterback even knows he's there. Like it's just amazing to me.
When you know, yeah, but it also comes with repetition, right? When you know, like you're moved to that spot, or you played it your whole life, right? And so it gets slower. Time moves slower and slower when you're out there, and the more you know, the faster you go, right?
Yeah.
Now, at beginning, if you sense, information overload, I can see how it slows down a young guy. Like that's never been asked to do this. You come to college, or you come from college to the NFL, and now they put the green dot on you. That's a lot of skills you have to build in a short time. Much like the quarterback, coming in when all they had to do was clap and look to the sideline. Like now,
Look,
yeah,
you just skipped over a nugget. I want people that just heard this, you probably missed it. The more you know,
The faster you go.
the faster you
as
go.
you go.
Dude, we're good about making t-shirts on the show. Like that's
Boy,
a t-shirt right there.
That's a T-shirt made by Lofa.
yeah.
Oh, you
Go
can
Maybe
buy
Lofa
a
in the little bottom
Bleav
corner,
in the
yeah.
Bleav shop. But
Watch in
when
3 days that shirt's going to appear in the Bleav shop. It's going to be sitting there.
when
We
we're
did.
talking about linebackers, middle linebackers, and if we're going to go into the draft or into this offseason in search of one, what are the qualities for the green dot?
Whew. I need to see you out there communicating, right? I don't care when I look at your stats. Okay, yeah, great. There's guys that have phenomenal stats, but if I'm asking you to be the middle, I need to see communication. I need to see pre-snap before the ball. Hey, here comes this. Like everything that Luke was doing, everything that John was doing, everything that Dan Morgan was doing. They're pointing, they're talking, they're communicating. They're doing hand signals. Like it might look like he's just tapping his leg, but Luke's telling TD, hey, let's go this side, and TD communicated back, right? And so that's like what I had with Julian Peterson, Leroy Hill. It was like, and then when we got really good at it, we didn't even have to talk. We was just like, look, it's like, yeah, it's on.
You're going to
And
get them.
so,
Yeah.
so the communication is everything. And like I see guys just lining up and they're not talking at all. It's like, fellas, if you see something, say something. You see a nasty split, say something. You see a guard lighting his stance, say something, right? So
Yeah.
that doesn't happen, a lot. But you have to be
When you
taught
see
that.
number 81 for the Seahawks go in motion from the heavy side, that means he's about to come back and crack you. So
Yeah.
you better be prepared.
You're right, right? Like crack alert, right? And so it's just the little things that make a big difference, and especially that's why I would never wear a microphone. I would never. They ask me to do mic'd up. I go, hell no. I don't want them to know that I know.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like the sideline? Yeah. I got you. Yeah. I always wonder when they ask people if they want to do that, like how much pushback they get from some players.
I said no.
Team first guy.
Thank you.
That's a team first guy right there.
Yeah.
You mentioned Lofa. You mentioned with ownership. You mentioned Robert Kraft a couple minutes ago at the beginning of this episode, and that's a good segue to get to the AFC Championship, Broncos and Pats. It felt like two games. It literally felt like two different games going on. And shout out to Robert Kraft, who has taken this who has allowed the people in the right places. Great hire Mike Vrabel and great quarterback Drake May. to be able to get into a position where the Patriots are about 2 years early, in my opinion. Like, they're not supposed to be here like at all. And they just ran through. Me and Stu have kind of gently ignored them all year, except for when we played them. When we played them. And I was going to ask you this, Stu, because I was thinking about it watching that game. Out of all the games that the Panthers played this year, who were the two teams where we left that game going, oh, that was the better team that day? Like, there was three, but out of the two, who would you name? Like, I'm just curious, who would you name out of who we played?
Mike Vrabel and them Patriots, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we couldn't do anything.
The Jacksonville Jaguars had our number. I think they had our number because just the matchups weren't there yet. You know what I'm saying? That was a game where
Bryce had Bryce had like 3 turnovers first half or something like that.
But then, heck, I forget who we played. What?
Come on, man, give it to me. Give it to me. It's right there. The Seahawks.
Oh, the Seahawks, right? Yeah. Well,
that was a tough game. That was a tough defense. Was really tough.
A tough game.
But tied at half.
But
yeah, the Panthers do that a lot though.
Like that was a game where we kind of like left our pants down, man.
I need to go pull the box score. Right?
We left our pants down.
Score quick because I was watching it on the couch and I'm like, I think the Seahawks and the Patriots were the two games that the Panthers played this year, other than the Bills. The Seahawks.
That's what I was going to say. The Bills is the one that was an automatic butt whooping.
That was like
I was going to go Jacksonville first game because we didn't know who we was and what we was doing. Really, we had all the imaginations possibly like at our hands, and we go out there and we say, "Oh, we don't know how to cover the tight end. I got you." And then we go play the Patriots. And the Patriots was like, "Yo, look, special teams, be special." And they ran all over us.
Yep.
And then we played the Bills, and my brother James Cook just cooked us right on up.
Back.
He ran all over us. So those are the games that I say we got our butts handed to us. And then the Saints, the first game at home. The Saints said the Saints. No, listen. The Saints said we got the recipe. You want to run the rock? You ain't gonna do it today. Surprise.
They did contain us.
But what the Seahawks score was, man.
27-10 was the final. They scored 24 they scored 24 points in the third and fourth quarter. We scored a touchdown late in the fourth to make it 27-10. But look at these stats. They held us to 139 yards total on the game on the day. We had 10 first downs.
Yeah, that was a game where in all reality, we weren't calling our offense the way it should have been called. We should have been hitting these crossing routes. We should have been hitting the check downs. We should have been over the middle of the field. We did not distribute the ball well in the middle of the field when we should have, because we knew going into that game, Lofa, I said it. I knew what they was going to do. They're going to play. They're going to sit back and hang out, let you catch the ball, and then come up and make the tackle. That's what they do.
We were 1 for 11 on third down that day.
Yeah. You always got to. I wanted to ask you this question, Lofa. Do you as a defense find your strengths through how you practice against your offense?
Oh, no.
Because to me, if I'm matching up against my defense every day, I ain't going deep. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's not going to be there.
It's not going to be there. I'm going to be getting that ball out, distributing that ball out, right? Because I know the secondary is just waiting, right?
Yeah, they're just sitting, right? Like,
right.
I know what you're saying. There's always who is the biggest threat, right? You know, playing the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
And D'Angelo, like, they can run the ball, at will. And so it's like, if you don't stop that, everything's at their disposal, right?
Yeah.
That's how every defense goes. Hey, stop the run. Do not give up the big play. And, it's easy to say, right? That we can keep it that simple. And it is that simple, but it's hard to do. And so.
But the mindset of that defense, you had Marshawn Lynch. You had guys, right? Like you had some dogs that presented the opportunity for you guys to find that DNA and really trust into that DNA because you had some dogs that you were seeing and going against every day.
Iron sharpens iron, absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so like just like if you're going through the camp, August days, and you're not a formidable running offense or defense, then you're gonna fuck around and find out when the season comes. Like,
Yeah.
Pretty much. And just going back to that Seattle game when we played them in the regular season at Bank of America Stadium in December, the Seahawks rushed for 163 yards, 4.5 yards per carry. They had 2 touchdowns. That was Zach Charbonnet's day. He had 110 yards and 18 carries. Bryce didn't have a good game. He only threw for 54 yards in that game. Had an interception, was sacked twice. Like the Seattle defense was all over the place, and they held Rico to
we'll go ahead and label that one as a butt whipping too. So we have 4 butt whippings this year.
My thing is, 2 of those made the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. Like, so I don't feel that bad about it. Out of the 2, like where we just felt overwhelmed.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I feel a little better. And then let me get to this Broncos Pats. I need to ask y'all this question because I was wandering in and out of my living room while this game was on, right? So first quarter, it's all bright and sunny. You can see the grass. Everybody's cheering. They're like, yay, they're happy and everything. Second quarter, same thing. Third quarter, same thing. Somewhere around the fourth quarter, I'm wandering in and out, and I turn towards the TV, and everything is white. And I'm like, did you change the channel? Like, what happened? And they're like, no, we haven't messed with TV. I'm like, well, there's no other football game. What is this? And I start watching. I'm like, oh, this is the same game. Oh, it's snowing. Oh, it's snowing like a foot of snow, like an hour. Like, it changed the whole complexion of the game where it was like, if you can just punt the ball 40 yards, you're probably going to be okay because no one can move the ball anywhere.
Field position.
Did the Denver Broncos lose this game more than the New England Patriots won it in your eyes? Because they had some opportunities earlier. They had an opportunity earlier where they could have like kicked a field goal or something like in the first half, and they chose not to, and then they didn't convert it or whatever. And that would have ultimately, if they had scored the way they did later, they would have been at 10-10, like going into the snowstorm. Did they make the wrong move then? I know in hindsight, it's 2020 and we're sitting on our couches coaching it up, and this is what I would do. But did Denver lose this game?
I think the Patriots won it because this is the type of games that Vrabel is made for. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go back and look at his history, man, he invites the short games. He invites the games where it's boring and there's no scoring and the defense keeps everybody out of the end zone, right? That's how he wants to play football. That's that guy. You know, I don't want to be aggressive if I don't have to on offense. Like, that's who he is.
And he's got a perfect quarterback to manage that too, because Drake May is accurate. That's the first thing I think of with Drake May. You want that, like if you're running that type of off Troy Aikman, you want accuracy.
And then ever since that defensive line, what's his name? Milton Williams.
We almost have him here.
Listen, Milton Williams. I went back and looked at when he got hurt some in the middle of the season, like week 11. And when he got out the game, it was like 6 weeks where the run support on that defense was struggling. They was getting the job done, but they were struggling.
Dude,
the moment he came back, bro, it shut down. It went back to shutdown. It was like he was the snowstorm. Okay?
Imagine this, dude. Dan Morgan, that was Dan Morgan's number one thing to go get in free agency. And remember, Milton Williams turned it down and went to the Patriots instead. Can you imagine Milton Williams and Derek Brown beside each other on a defensive line?
You know what happened? The NFL probably said, no, that can't happen.
Yeah, they did the Chris Paul, no, you can't go to the Lakers.
Let's wave that one.
Yeah.
Patriots, do something. Make an offer.
But no, seriously, so you think the Pats went out and won the game. Lofa, do you feel like the Broncos maybe left it out in the field? Especially the thing that bothered me the most about it is that you kind of got screwed over by being at home. You're at home and this happened to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if you're on the road and the weather changed. But no, you're in Denver, Colorado, and this happened. And it's like,
football God said no.
Not today.
Okay, and see, like, that's where, I didn't read the weather report, but I know if I'm a coach, I am, right? And so I don't know. You better have the right cleats on. That's all. Chase, too, you know this.
Yeah, you got to have them cleats on, baby.
You better wear the 3/4 inch if, like, the conditions call for it. Like, it happened to us in Green Bay in 2007. We came out, we were up 14-0. That snow set in, guys slipping all over the field. We lost like 40-20 that game. And I was like, 14-0. I was like, we are going to kill these guys. And like, then all of a sudden, just foot of snow comes down. You can't
Ain't no
see to the
snap.
sideline. We still didn't have the headset. This is the old days. I'm looking for
So
hand
you was over
signals.
here. You was over there trying to signal through the snow. You got white gloves on, looking like an usher, like a mime. Like,
But so like you have to know like the weather report, right? But that's not. Both teams have to play in it, regardless.
not
of
an
the situation.
excuse.
It
No
happens so
excuse.
fast too. Like
I will
don't
say
even know
this:
the weather was
do you
right.
think that the Denver Broncos were right for going for it on 4th down instead
Absolutely
of kicking
not.
a field goal?
Absolutely not. Points are at a premium in the playoffs, especially when you got one of the top 3 defense. And Sean Payton, this is why you love Sean Payton, right? Like Sean Payton's the same guy that kicked an onside in the second half of the Saints Colts, right? When everybody's like, "Oh my God, that's crazy!" It is crazy, crazy awesome. And so
Yeah, crazy
this
awesome.
one, I understand. I understand him going for it because you got them backed up. A field goal, like, is still not guaranteed. I mean, this is the year of the kicker. We've seen it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they just missed. They're going overtime now, and then they lose.
Oh,
They
man.
they just like so. A field goal is still not guaranteed, but a touchdown there instead of a field goal is not going to guarantee win the game. Yes, I know after the fact with the snow and
Mhm.
everything, and them only scoring 10 points because that's how good your defense is. But Sean even said, he goes, I should have taken the points there, assuming that the points were going to be good. But either way, then they go back, they fumble, right? On their own backed up. And so but it still didn't 10-7 was all that was scored in this game.
Yeah.
Right. That's so
The fourth quarter, nobody was scoring. Like the way there was a play where Drake May was trying to hand off to Stevenson, and Stevenson slipped like on his first step up, and then Drake realized it had to step up himself, and he slipped and fell down. And it was just like, oh, the field just deteriorated like quickly. Like it's
the saving grace for
can hold on.
The saving grace for the Patriots is that they did not turn the ball over, which was incredible.
That's what I was waiting on.
The week before, man, they was out there hot potato, like, hey, you have it. No, you take it. No, I don't want it. You get it.
I was waiting on one team to turn the ball over in those conditions, and neither one did. It was just kind of move 5 yards, punt it, move 4 yards, punt it, back and forth the whole rest of the fourth quarter. Let me ask this, because this has been bothering me, because Stu knows me. I hate the Patriots. They are like Duke to me. Like the Duke Blue Dog. I'm a Carolina fan, so the equivalent in the NFL to me is the New England
Children, if you're listening to this podcast, the word hate in the vocabulary should not ever be used.
Yeah, intensely dislike.
I intensely dislike the New England Patriots.
We're getting better.
I'm watching this game, and I'm like, do I still hate them, or do I still intensely dislike them? Because the things that I intensely disliked are not there anymore. Bill Belichick is coaching my college football team right now, which is the same as Coach K went to go coach the Lakers all of a sudden.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't know what I feel about it. Like I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with it. And now Tom Brady's in a booth calling games, and so he's not there. And Drake May, my college quarterback, is the coach. I mean, it's the quarterback for the New England Patriots. So tell me what I'm supposed to do with my hands.
And he's a Myers Park Charlotte guy too.
Yeah. So y'all tell me what to do with my hands here. Because are the Patriots likable? Is this group of Patriots, are they likable? Because we're used to having Death Stars, like in sports. There's a team that gets so good, it's natural for the public to start to root against them. Used to be the Patriots. Kansas City took their spot. In college basketball, usually it's Duke. In the NBA, maybe it's the Celtics again, since they're defending champs. But it's usually one of those kind of teams, right? We didn't really have one this year, and that's why it was hard for us to pick like a clear-cut favorite to get to the Super Bowl. We were having kind of problems about midway through the year. It was like, who's it going to be? And this Patriots team was just there the whole time, like just beating everybody. What should I do here? Are these Patriots likable, or am I being
They're likable, but you ain't got to choose them. You know what I'm saying?
But see, I hate the Seahawks too. I do not care for the Seahawks.
Dang, no, you heavily dislike.
I'm all about hate. Like
the president
hate your heart, let it out.
Well, Carolina and Seattle kind of had a rivalry for a while, especially when you were there. They were kind of our biggest rivalry for like those 3-4 years. So I've carried that with me. I just think Sam Darnold's the quarterback. We just had him here 2 years ago. Like, there's so many storylines that are connected to the Panthers for me where I can't root for either, but I have to watch the game. So again, you said the Patriots are likable.
Yeah, man. I like Hollins. What's his name? Mac Hollins, Barefoot Bandit. Yep. I like Henry. He was over there, with the Chargers. I liked him when he was there.
I like the running back, Stevenson.
I like Stevenson.
Henderson.
And
I
then,
like Drake
they
May.
got Diggs, Diggs out there, comeback player of the year, in my opinion.
Is
Like,
Drake May
I'm talking
is Drake May the MVP of the year now that we've gotten to the Super Bowl? I think so. I think he may be. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Lofa's very.
I mean,
very
it's
strong.
just
Yeah.
odd to say, like, second year player MVP, right? And what he did was he just played within the guidelines in which he was asked.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a streak of games there where, like, and that was the biggest thing. They're like, oh, well, the strike the schedule is, hey, you can only beat who they put in front of you.
Yeah,
like, so like,
exactly.
I never understood that. But
Man, I'm telling you, bro, when Milton Williams, and I think they had a linebacker that went out too, but when he went out, there was some heavy lifting that had to be done.
There were some shootouts. Right? Yeah, I remember.
They had some heavy lifting that had to be done.
Like,
but Drake May was winning those
yard
games.
rushing games going against them, which is like, go back and look how many times you've given up 150 plus and like still won the game. Not often.
You know what's crazy? Usually when you get something good, like when you get that GM, owner, coach, quarterback situation straightened out early, like a lot of times we've seen this happen before where a coach will take a team to the Super Bowl in year 2, year 3, or whatever. Sean McVay got there with the Rams like super early, right? And now you're seeing Seattle get there super early where they figured out their quarterback position. They already had a good GM. They figured out the coach position. And it's not like they slid in. Y'all were in the toughest division in all of football like this year and won it. Won the 1 seed, got home field. I didn't realize the Seattle Seahawks have only lost like 3 games total in the playoffs at home, like ever. Like, and I can see why. Like, it's stupid.
It was jumping in there, boy. Yeah, let's start talking about these Seahawks, man. You know I'm from Lacey, Washington, baby. So 360-253. What's up, baby?
Before we get into it, of course I gotta pay some bills. ZipRecruiter is still with us here. Let ZipRecruiter help you find the best people for all of your roles. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Just go to this exclusive web address right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. It's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. So you grew up in the area. Were you a Seahawks fan as a kid?
So I was a Seahawks fan, but I was more so a player fan growing up. So it was the running backs that I followed. So, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, guys of that nature. So growing up, I was just following running backs. Whoever was dope, I was watching. Right. But the Seahawks was definitely the home team. Back when Ricky Waters was out there toting that thing, boy, when Sean Alexander came in and took his spot, from Alabama time, coming from Alabama. So I enjoyed growing up watching the Seahawks and I actually got a story, my rookie year preseason, we're playing the Washington Redskins at the time. Now they're the Commanders. And I get a carry inside zone. And, this was my rookie year. So watching film, studying, who's on the other team in preseason was not happening. I was learning the plays. So I didn't know who was on the other side of the field, right? And I get tackled, like after 3 yards or something like that, inside zone. I bounced it, and I got tackled. And it's like, Jonathan Stewart with the carry, Sean Springs with the tackle. I was like, wait, what? Where's Sean Springs at? Because I didn't know, right?
Yeah.
And so it was just one of those moments where, like, wow, I'm in the NFL playing against somebody that I watched growing up. So I definitely got some Seahawks jerseys in my crib. And I also got some signed, jerseys from some guys that I'm friends with, from the Legion of Boom. But I'm excited for this, for Seattle, to be able to, be on the West Coast, go down there to the Bay. You're going to travel well and be able to represent, the Super Bowl the way that they should. I think they, at the end of the day, man, the amount of times in the last 10 years, I guess now, it's been 3 times in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Or at least in the last 15, right? Something like that.
Yeah. That's
but to be to be able to be a team in the NFL, a city, to have that many appearances, so close together, in my opinion. I mean, that's a feat, boy. So I know the energy, man, had to be lit in that game against the Rams, conference championship game, NFC title. How many of y'all were in the building as far as guys that played, veterans, like the legends, man?
Mm-hmm.
There was a member of like damn near every team for the last 20 years, like
Yeah.
representing, right? And to see all your brothers, like, because my rookie year, we won that game against the Panthers, sorry guys. But and
It was loud in there too.
oh my God.
Don't
And
rub it in, bro.
Yeah, I know. Bringing back all
hear
the man.
to hear it and feel the energy, you hit it on the head, brother. It's a feeling that you can't describe adequately, that you long for. It's so hard to earn, but you long for it ever since you have that. And
Yeah.
it was special, man. That's the only way you can put it. It was special. And like to see this young group of guys, get their opportunity at it and go to the advance to the bring. So we just hung another banner for the division, and then now we got another conference banner going up. It's like that's what you play for. You play to try to get the ring, man.
Yeah, and just
Well,
watching the young guys do it is just like, man, you really want it for them because
mhm.
you're living almost through them. How I
Mhm.
feel sometimes, like I'm
Vicariously,
living
yeah.
through you. Better go out there and do this thing.
Yeah, just stay in the moment.
Lofa, let me ask you about the Seahawks defense, because they're the ones kind of getting a lot of the shine right now. Although the Seahawks offense is humming right now with Sam Darnold running that train. How good is this defense in your opinion? Like, are they Legion of Boom good, or can they potentially be Legion of Boom good? Like, because it feels like their defense is kind of the number one thing that they have going besides the run game. Their run game's been off the chain the past couple of weeks. They've been averaging like 160 yards on the ground or something nuts. So talk to me about this defense from what you see. Can they be Legion of Boom good? Like that, it's safe to say the Seattle defense back then won them Super Bowls. I would say this defense won them Super Bowls more than Russell Wilson went out and won them Super Bowls. Your thoughts on the Seattle defense this year?
This is an elite defense. There is no question in my mind. Like all the stats, they have everything to back it up from this year. However, it's 1 year, and like I'm not going to get too ahead of myself and too excited. So let me just refresh everybody's memory. The Legion of Boom is the only defense to lead the NFL 4 years in a row in scoring defense.
Damn.
The only. The 1950s Browns, when I don't know if there's maybe 10 total teams, in the league.
Yeah.
They were the only ones to do it. So like that is like
That's crazy.
That's called
stratosphere of their
elite.
own.
Yeah, that is nuts.
It's the only one to do. I think a couple teams have done it back to back, but they're the only ones to do it 4 years in a row. And
they
so
went to 2 Super Bowls during that stretch.
Yeah, so I like how you preface that with, we have to see, right? Like, I mean, they're really good now, and they're good to get these guys to a Super Bowl and be the best in the league now. But
Yes.
Will we be able to rank them next to Legion of Boom? Time only can tell.
I need more time. I need
5 years. I need at least 3 more. I need
small
3 more.
sample size to go off of. Like anybody can do it once, is what we always said.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And if you do it twice, it's a coincidence. You do it 3 times,
Oof.
that's a pattern, folks.
That's a pattern. Yeah.
And but it's unbelievable. Like just they're kind of built like the Legion of Boom in that front, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think that the Legion of Boom era, I don't think that D line got enough credit. When you go up and down, like every sync studs everywhere, and then behind them, like a future starter and potential Pro Bowler at another team. So, I mean, just this will probably surmise it pretty well. 2 All Pros and Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett did not start on that 2013 team.
Dogs.
Right? They were behind dogs, and they were behind Chris Clemens, Savage, and Red Bryant. Savage.
Dogs.
So that's just how stacked they were. All right. Then you had Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Bruce Irvin, MVP, Malcolm Smith. And then now, like, and behind them, dogs. But then you had the Legion of Boom that were like, dude, they had like 8 starters. Like, the guys that were starting and then behind them could have all started at, and a lot of other teams, not any other team, but a lot of other teams. And so it's like when you're built like that, you can sustain it. We're a little older in some positions, but they're playing the best ball I've seen out of them, probably because they don't have to do it all themselves. Like Leonard Williams, Jaron Reed in the trenches, Leonard Williams, Jaron Reed, and then DeMarcus Lawrence. He looks like he could play 5 more years. He's 34 years old.
Godsend for them on that defensive line. Yeah.
I said when we picked him up, this might be the acquisition of the offseason for any team, because he came off an injury plague season in 24. Yeah. And then, but before that, he was still just beating the hell out of people. And I was like, yo, if he's 70% of what he was in 2023, like, I just can't imagine what an offensive line thinks when they line up. And it's him. And then also you got Big Cat. Then you got Jaron Reed, and then sometimes you have the Rook, who's he had 8.5 sacks. Byron Murphy, our first round pick from a year ago, right? Like, should have made the Pro Bowl. 8.5 sacks from D tackle position. That is rare. That is
very rare.
Very rare.
And
that's great. So they're still building. They're still building this out. Like, so they're kind of ahead of schedule too. Would you say?
And
so
they're too deep on the outside too. Like,
yeah.
Go ahead, Stu.
That's what I was gonna say. When you talk about elite and being able to do it year in and year out, it does come down to depth, because not everybody's going to be healthy every single game. When you figure out how to have depth in the secondary, depth at the defensive line spot and the middle linebacker spot and whatnot, you're capable of figuring things out. You might not be at full speed, top go every single game, but if you have depth and you have the guys like Lawrence, you have Julian Love. I mean, Julian Love, my man. Like the last 2 years,
beast.
And it has to be because of Mike McDonald. Has to be.
Okay.
Mike McDonald, is he going to be the coach of the year on Saturday when they do the NFL honors? Like, is there anybody else that could be coach? Well, Mike Vrabel?
If it's not him, it's Mike Vrabel. It's one of the Mikes. Because if it's not him, Mike Vrabel did it. He got them there in year one from where they were last year, which was brutal.
4 wins.
Right?
They won 4 wins last year to go to the Super Bowl the next year and be the basically, in my opinion, they were the default number 1 seed in the AFC. I know Denver was the 1, but without Bo Nix, I just kind of shifted to the Patriots. Like it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be them.
The most impressive work is Mike McDonald. Like he actually, when we talk about strength of schedule, we talk about all the things that they had to face. You have a first year quarterback. And Sam Darnold as your starter, you go to war to get him there. $100 million is might as well sign up for war.
That's not couch change.
So, and being able to orchestrate a defense to perform at a high level the way they've been performing all year, they haven't allowed Desmond. What was it? 27 games, 28 games. Might be 27 games. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in a long time.
They held Rico to 59 yards when he was in the middle of that hot streak at home. Yeah. We were at home and they did that to us. So you spoke of Sam Darnold. We're very familiar with Sam Darnold. He was our starter here in 2022. We had, at one point, Lofa, we had Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and it was somebody else in our quarterback room. Was that the same year Cam came back too? I think it was, because I think Sam got hurt.
Yeah, I think so.
So we had all of them in the room at the same time.
I wonder what that meeting room was like.
Because Sam Darnold entered the chat room of best quarterbacks in the league.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's crazy.
No question. Hey, listen.
All right.
Listen. If you think less is blasphemy. My man went to work last year in Minnesota.
Right.
And Minnesota did something stupid and let him go.
But they're regretting it now.
Minnesota
would have been in the playoffs.
Minnesota would have been in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota could Justin Jefferson could have had
I was going to say, they might end up losing Justin Jefferson because he ain't got nobody to really throw him the football anymore. Because
I'm
not
about to lose everybody because of that.
Yeah.
So how hard is it to throw it to Justin Jefferson? Just throw it up. Right. Down there somewhere.
What up, man?
And I think that was the problem with Sam last year. Everyone was like, oh, well, he's throwing to Justin Jefferson. No wonder he had blah, blah, blah. You go to Seattle. And same results. Like, my dude's won like 27 regular season games in the past 2 years.
2 years.
I mean, listen, Sam Darnold, bro, is the best quarterback this year, and it was because he had a process, he had a development, he had a good journey. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy. It was hard. It was a lot of bumps and bruises. It was ups and downs, but he didn't waver, man. And when you figure out how, like, man, I'm still here. I'm unscathed. I'm okay. Oh, I'm okay. And then you go down there to the Niners, right? You get to go and hang out with the Niners in 2023, right? And you meet Clint Kubiak, right? Good guy, right? Offensive guy. You learn a little bit of confidence through being in a room with him, being in a room with Kittle, being in a room with Christian McCaffrey, being around winning environments. Shanahan, you know what I'm saying? Like, and all of a sudden you start believing in yourself, bro. Right? And then you go to Minnesota and you say, yeah, I got this. Move out the way. Oh, y'all don't want to pay me? All right. You can bring the young guy in. Okay. Here are your keys, man. I'm out. Peace. Then you come to Seattle and you say, look, yeah, Cooper here, Cooper Kupp. Hey, Coop, I need you to teach JSN some stuff, right? Because he can be really, really nice. He already nice, but he can be really, really nice if we just guide him a little bit.
That boy's gonna be special.
That boy nice.
He's ridiculous.
Very good.
That boy is off the chain. Listen, he can play the slot. He can play inside. He can play outside. That's what makes this a perfect marriage, because you have an offensive coordinator that wants to be aggressive anyway. You got a head coach that want to be aggressive anyway. What better way to be aggressive when you got a guy that can play every position at the receiver spot?
It helps your running game and your offensive line are churning at the point where you're averaging over 150 yards a game on the ground. So that takes pressure off of Sam Darnold, which seemed to be his whole issue to begin with. So now Sam can play free and you can just.
And you know, the only apprehension before the season was coasted through the season in Minnesota, right? Got to the last two games, two big games. You go from the 1 seed or the 6th, or you slide to the 6th seed, right? They lose. Then, and so Detroit won the division. They go on the road to the Rams, and he had two pretty bad showings, right? And it was like, oh, he just can't win the big game. You know, that narrative gets spun. But then there were some signs in there that were definitely concerning of just like, okay, when he gets hit early, he started getting happy feet and like started bouncing around. But the progression, like you said, the development that I saw were from years of, okay, sitting with Shanahan, Kubiak, getting going underneath O'Connell's tutelage over there in Minnesota. Now coming back and being with Kubiak again. And so they already know how each other thinks and what they want to do, how they're going to attack. But the run game wasn't always there, right? In the beginning, it was a lot of just JSN, you know, and Barner, the tight end. So it was impressive to see it go. You know, it's been a year. Every game got better. The roughest one, the Rams, 4 interception game, right? And then, you know, everyone came out of the woodwork. Oh, we told you who he was. We told you. How he responded, they haven't lost since.
Yeah.
They have not lost since.
All right, take note.
And every single time I see better decisions, even that he was backed up and someone from Carolina was, you know, running him down. He threw it away. He'd never thrown the ball away. We got an intentional grounding because he didn't get it back to the line of scrimmage. But to me, that was a mark of progress.
Better play.
Better decision. And so in years past, that was a pick six or a fumble. Right, like
the Denver Broncos quarterback.
Games passed. Yes, exactly. It was
that was a horrible
identical
pass.
To the left. You're absolutely correct, John.
Yeah,
but so then you go and now he realizes, okay, if I do start to feel like I'm taking too much time for this progression to read, just take off, get 4 yards.
Boy,
you
got
just
wheels
get back to
now.
the line of scrimmage. No negative plays.
Yeah.
We're gonna make something happen every series.
Negative plays hurts everybody, man. When you do not win on first down, it makes second down harder, because then you play, especially going into this game with the Patriots. You go into this game and you do not win on first down, it's gonna be hell or high water, boy. Because they gonna basically they play a little bit similar to how the Seahawks defense plays. They want you to catch that stuff underneath. We're gonna come up and make the tackle.
Bleav personally,
but if you do not win on first down, you're gonna be forced to throw it downfield, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No.
And then we got monsters pinning their ears back, knowing you have to throw.
That's where that's when they got you where they want you. Lofa Tatupu joining us, Bleav personality here on Bleav in Panthers, as we get you ready for Super Bowl 60, Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots from Santa Clara. So I saw a picture of Drake May at Super Bowl 50 watching the Panthers take on the Broncos. He was actually in the building watching it from middle school, watching that game in a Panthers jersey, and now he's going to the Super Bowl 10 years later as a 23-year-old quarterback in the New England Patriots. And we'll get into the Patriots a little bit more deeper next week. While we got Lofa here, though, real quick before we have to go, a little rapid fire. Me and Stu asking some questions about the Seahawks. I want to know, what's the biggest difference head coach Mike McDonald has made in Seattle? Because he's been there, 2 years now, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, this is
what's the biggest difference you've seen from that's his fingerprint that he did that changed them from when he first got there to now that you think's been a huge factor in them getting to the Super Bowl?
Discipline, just a full understanding of, and like not beating ourselves. There, Pete did a hell of a job, his whole time here. But we always were high in penalties. We always just a little too undisciplined, but Mike's he's bringing his own fingerprint with this is a team. This is there's talent in every organization, but when a team comes together and they play and they move as one, that's when it gets special, and that's when you make the postseason runs over and over, and you get to the big game. And so this is a team that plays for each other, and they love the game of football in all three phases, because our special teams has been not talked about, but they are a difference maker in field position. And I think they've scored 5 or 6 touchdowns, 3 or 4 since Shaheed got here mid-season, but then also, blocked kicks, and just they play great. And so that's another phase. And I know Vrabel always packs his defense and special teams, but McDonald's brought that element of discipline and that love for the game just keeps showing, because the amount of injuries we've had, every single one of our starters, I Bleav, had missed a game or 2. Julian Love missed 6 games. Kobe Bryant was in and out of the lineup. Spoon missed 3 or 4 games. Marcus Lawrence, up and down. I think Big Cat might be the only one that didn't miss a game. Jay Reed, Murph, every single buddy has missed a game. Ernest Jones, Drake Thomas, our stud linebacker. But the machine, we were always in the top 3 rankings defensively the whole year. And that comes with the full understanding that I was talking about of what's expected of you. We don't need you to make 10 interceptions to play well in this defense. You got this area and zone, control that area, and then go hunt. That is all you have to do. Don't overcomplicate it. And yeah, it's been awesome and special to watch.
All right. With the defense, right? I look back at this, as far as the games that I played against the Seahawks, and, you got Bobby Wagner being the engine. You got Cam Chancellor, yourself, guys that bring the energy. Who is that for this team?
That's a great question, because it's a lot of them are the catalyst, the spark that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ernest in the middle, and him, and then Drake Thomas is just a little spark plug. He will just run through and smoke somebody in the backfield, and then the whole defense. It's where you're when you see someone get a big hit, you're all right, you're not leaving here with the biggest hit, right? I am. And so then it's not like we go harder. It's just we're going, though. We're going to beat you to the ball. And Spoon has always, it's almost like he was out there by himself early on, 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden, the addition of trading for Ernest Jones last year, it just picked up. It picked up. And then everybody else started getting, and then adding DeMarcus, man, so they all feed off of each other. And it's awesome when you can't say exactly who is the energy source.
And that comes from that environment, right, where people talk. Defense has to talk. Yeah. If you're not talking, you're losing, right? Because not everybody's on the same page. And I remember watching, just from the sidelines when our defense goes out there, you got Luke, right, calling the defense, and you got TD over there responding. You got Trey Boston back there, young guy, and he's over there barking when he makes a play. You got Josh Norman over there in the face of, the number one receiver that he's guarding the whole, throughout the course of the game. And you have guys that just bring this incredible juice to the field. And when you're not seeing that from teams, man, it's lackluster. It's lackluster. So if you're listening to this podcast and you play football, whether it's professional, college, high school, youth football, you're a coach, Madden, talk. Okay?
Yeah.
Got to make sure you talk. Talk to the TV if you're playing Madden.
If you see something, say something.
Say something. I like that.
Before I hit you with the last question of Day Lofa, I did need to get in our DraftKings, or excuse me. Yeah, our DraftKings stuff here. Oh, no, excuse me, FanDuel. I'm saying DraftKings. Our FanDuel stuff here. Yeah.
Editor gonna have a long day.
Tisk.
Clip that out in post. Those clip that out in post. We're doing a lot. We were looking for MVP odds, and I didn't realize that. Well, I did realize they closed because they stopped voting at the end of the regular season. So everything we just watched in the playoffs won't matter when it comes to the NFL MVP. Matthew Stafford finished at minus 900 on FanDuel as the clear-cut favorite. Drake May was second at plus 650. Then you had Trevor Lawrence at plus 50,000. So like at that point, it just kind of drifted off into. Not sure why DK Metcalf is on here, or Geno Smith, or Justin Fields, actually.
Sam Darnold's not even mentioned.
Not even mentioned. Yeah, not even mentioned. And now,
take note, dog. Get that MVP next year. Get the MVP of the Super Bowl. Importantly,
that's that Michael Jordan thing. That's that Michael Jordan. If you watch The Last Dance, where he's like mad that he's like, "What was your driving force this year?" Carmelo won the MVP, so I was like, "You can have that. I'm gonna have this," and he goes and wins the Finals MVP or whatever.
That's a great year for Sam, man. He about to get married. He got engaged this offseason.
Paid.
He got paid. He about to get a Super Bowl. He didn't get the MVP of the league, but he about to get the MVP of the Super Bowl.
So it sounds like you leaning right now towards the Seahawks to win this
game.
Duh.
But I gotta say something. Why does the voting stop before the games that matter?
I don't know. They do it in the NBA too. Like they stop regular season MVP like right there, and I'm like, you should let it go. Let it go into the playoffs.
Same with baseball. All-Star break. It's the best first half of the season.
Yeah.
So
whoever
weird. Comes out the gates hot.
Oh, because the people that don't play football, they're getting bored and they're getting antsy and they want something to do.
Let me leave it on this note right here. It's kind of outside of a Seahawks question, but should they cancel the Pro Bowl?
I didn't know it was still on.
I mean, it's like games, right?
It's the Pro Bowl games is what it's called. They do like skill events. You remember back in the day, like on ABC, Wild World Sports, like on Saturdays in the summer, they'd be like Darryl Green, like racing everybody and blowing them away.
Steve Smith was out there doing stuff too.
Yeah, just random stuff. And then there's a flag football game.
Well, yeah, because you knew watching those events that it was part of the buildup of being able to watch them on the field with the helmet, with some pads, and the potential to see the best of the best go at it and play a game that, hey, brother-in-law me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get paid this offseason. But
ever since Sean Taylor laid out that kicker, whoever it was, he laid out. They just didn't want to do it anymore, I guess. And then I've seen people go, LeBron James has ruined all-star games for everyone in all sports. Like, because ever since he started not really playing them, he's in there, but he didn't really play. There's the stretch where him and Kobe were going back and forth in the NBA All-Star game. Kobe was trying to challenge him because Kobe's from that old school of we're going to play this All-Star game if
I'm out here on the court, we playing.
Yeah. The new school don't do it that way, and they kind of just go back and forth with dunks and lobs or whatever. And he refused to shoot it on Kobe in the All-Star game. And from that, I keep seeing this clip pop up in my reels or whatever, and people point to that like that's where things started going wrong. The NFL. I don't know if it was. I guess it was players opting out, right? Like they didn't want to play in the game. So
you got to incentivize. Yeah, you got to incentivize guys to play because it doesn't make any sense. You got to incentivize them more.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense for a guy to say, "Hey, I know I'm probably valued here at $60 million, and I'm going to get paid this offseason."
Yeah, as
or
long as I'm healthy.
next season.
That's worth more than going to Hawaii and playing a game where someone might twist up my ankle. And
you got to give me insurance on my value, at least.
See, that comes down to, does the NFL really value the Pro Bowl? like how much
No,
do you really want to do this game?
Because they don't make any money.
Right. Yeah. Because even now, we used to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, we used to watch these All-Star games. Like Lofa said, he didn't even know we were still doing it. I still don't know exactly when it's supposed to be, but it's sometime Saturday, I think.
I was
Sunday.
right there when Sean Taylor, he almost took one time in my life, I was glad I was a 4.85. And because if I was a 4.80 or 4.7, my elbow down is gone. Like,
yeah.
And just like we're talking about, Jay Stu, like, but and even in that game, or it might have been the year before, but like Reggie Wayne came on a slant across the middle, and Sean Taylor came, he emptied the post.
Sean Taylor
right?
again. Sean Taylor destroyed the Pro Bowl.
And that ball was high. and Reg, he's like, I don't blame him. And like Sean was laying out, like Reg hit the turf, and he looked at Sean like, hey, what the hell, man? And
there's always one.
Sean Taylor,
bad man.
You can see his eyes, and he goes, "You know what it is." That's all he said. And I was just like,
"You know what it is? I'm out here playing football. You got these feet spaced up."
My man came in at Miami to replace Ed Reed, and maybe played better than him at Miami. Took it to the NFL and just destroyed the concept of the Pro Bowl, basically, because it feels like ever since then we haven't really paid attention to it or anything else. But I wanted to get two pros' opinions on whether or not it's even
back home saying, "Look, Sean Taylor, man, look, I don't want to do this anymore, man. I don't want to do this."
I know y'all get to go to Hawaii and the family gets to go and yada yada yada, but we can do that on our own. we can go to vacation. Hawaii. Yeah. Anything else for Lofa, Stu, before we get out of here?
If Sam Darnold wins this Super Bowl,
oh boy,
what does that do to the history in which quarterbacks have played in the Super Bowl, just in the sense of seasons, right?
You mean like in the league?
Like just his story. Like, how does that match up to just the history of quarterbacks in the Super Bowl if he wins this Super Bowl? Like, is it top 5 success story? Is it what is this Super Bowl as far as the impact?
I mean, there's some phenomenal stories as I think back to quarterbacks that won it. Hostetler was the backup that year when they won it. And then Kurt Warner, right, was literally bagging groceries, right?
That was a story.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I know there's a couple more, but like what Sam's had to go through and grow through to be here, like, is true light and example, inspiration for every quarterback, even in the league right now. They're like, damn, Sam did it. Like, he had 5 or 6 different stops, but he never gave up faith. He was just like, I know what I can do. I just, need to get out there and be given the chance. And he's he ran with it, right? So timing is everything. And I think it's going to be pretty special when he wins.
When he wins. What day are you going out there to San Fran?
No, I booked a party at a casino, Emerald Queen Casino. Shout out to my homies. Yeah,
well
like
played.
a month.
Spot in Tacoma.
I knew we were going. I knew the Hawks were going, right? But I don't know. I guess it's like when you played, it's been there, done that kind of. And it's not that it's not special. I'm still happy for the guys, but I'm old now, and I'm happy in front of the giant screen with a beer in my hand and a bathroom with food nearby.
Preach.
But it's played a lot of big games. Even going back, watched a lot of big games when my dad played. 14 years in the league, so it's special. But like just going to that championship game, and with my kid, and being on the field after the game, and I was like, dude, feel that energy, soak it up, because this is what it's like. This is the.
What does that mean? I was going to ask you this, and then we'll go, Desmond. I know this is ladies and gentlemen, if you tuned in and you were watching this for an hour and 4 minutes, thank you.
We love bonus time. Bonus time.
But when as a guy that's been away from the game, how much does it mean to you to have an organization and a community that you blood, sweat, and tears for, what does it mean to you to be able to have access back to the program? You know what I'm saying? Back to the field, back to games, back to the locker room, whatever that is, you know, the organization being open to that. Because I know for myself, the Carolina Panthers have done an incredible job the last couple of years inviting guys back and making them feel like they are a part of the organization.
Yeah, it's everything to me, man. Extremely special. I'm extremely grateful that they, for all my former Hawk brothers, right? Because all since growing up, man, the football field was home to me. It was where I found acceptance, belonging, and brotherhood, right? And then it gets taken away, and that, we know that's the beauty of it. It's the greatest game because you can't just go back and play it. You never play it again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
baseball, basketball, softball. You could retire, you still find a league, a rec league to go to. You can't do what we did ever again. It'll
No.
never happen again. And the finality
Yeah.
of it is the beauty of it. And so to have them embrace you and just the Seahawks organization, and it started back with Paul, who saved football, saved the team from moving, just kept always poured back and invested in the community, and showed the players how to give back in terms of the community events and the charities that they're tied to. They really care, the Hawks, and it's special to be a part of it.
So the Seattle Seahawks, for the third time in franchise history, will be in the Super Bowl. No, fourth time.
Fourth time.
Fourth time. And then Super Bowl. They'll be in the Super Bowl under head coach Mike McDonald in his second year. Sam Darnold, first year as a starter there. I just went to go look. You guys were talking about Sam Darnold and his history and his story or whatnot. And I was like, is there another guy who's kind of labeled a bust, was drafted high, made a couple stops, ended up someplace else and won a Super Bowl? I had to go all the way to Super Bowl 15, Jim Plunkett with the Raiders.
Ooh, dang.
I can't find anybody else that kind of fit the same type of story, where Plunkett was the Super Bowl MVP of that one, 261 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. But everyone else were kind of guys that were supposed to be there. There's some other stories, but Mark Rippon maybe from the Redskins, back in the day. But Sam Darnold was literally a top 3 draft pick and just didn't work out in multiple spots, and then started to work out and still was getting tossed away. And now he's in Seattle and he's in the Super Bowl. So go figure. Next week, we'll have the Patriots side of all this. We'll have somebody on from Bleav in Patriots to help us kind of figure this out and get you ready with final prop bets and everything else for Super Bowl 60. The game is on NBC and Peacock this year. So they'll probably start the broadcast on Friday at 6 p.m. and it'll just run nonstop on Peacock until we get the kickoff. But we'll have something for you there midweek next week to get you ready for that. So for our special guest, Lofa Tatupu, thank you so much for coming in today again, Lofa, and of course the Panthers all-time leading rusher, Jonathan Stewart. This is Desmond Johnson. You've been watching and listening to Bleav in Panthers podcast here on Bleav Podcast Networks, brought to you by the fine folks over at FanDuel. We will see you guys next week. Keep pounding.